everybody, guess what? I have captured Monkey D. Luffy. That's right, I have captured Monkey D. Luffy, and I'm on my way to turn him into the Marines. Yes! And I'm going to collect that bounty prize. Now you're probably wondering, how exactly did I capture Monkey D. Luffy? Well, you might be finding it surprising, but I managed to get my hands on the Hobby Nami, turn Luffy into a toy, and I'm about to take him out to the Marines to collect that bounty prize. But enough talking glory and stuff like that. It'll be a while before I can get everything ready, but in the meantime, let's have a little fun and discuss a little video, okay? Now, knowing now that Luffy has finally been captured, his days of bounty has finally ended. Yes, sorry Luffy, I'm going to collect that prize. No more bounties for you. But, let's just stop and think for a minute, okay? Even though I have captured Luffy and his days of getting a new bounty are finally over, let's just stop for a minute and just still predict and wonder what exactly his next bounty could be. And I think that's a really fun thing. Predicting bounties is pretty good. All right. I know in my last bounty prediction videos, I was practically wrong on Luffy's bounty. Now I did get a few of them right. Well, technically few is a very strong word to say. I got maybe like one or two right. All right, and some of them like close enough up to where they were close. Okay, there's no way to sugarcoat it. They were close, but still wrong. All right. So before I actually get into the whole bounty situations and stuff like that, before I give the actual bounty numbers, I think I need to basically provide a good enough evidence to basically support why I necessarily believe that another bounty increase could actually occur during this arc. Okay. Now, I shouldn't necessarily mention that if you have not actually caught up to the Egghead Island arc, I would recommend you actually not watching the video until you've actually caught up to the Egghead Island arc necessarily, especially as long as you're caught up to at least 1075 at least. Okay. Now there is more I need to necessarily say. If you don't actually care about, well, technically if you don't care about the stories and stuff like that, then feel free to continue the video. However, if you just want to know the bounty numbers specifically, because during the bounty numbers, I'll just give the bounties themselves, but I won't necessarily give any plot points that are going on in that moment. If you just want the bounty numbers, you can basically skip to the time zone that I'll have listed down below, and you'll basically just be able to see the bounty numbers themselves without any worries at all, okay? So let's get into it. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to list off the reasons why I believe another bounty increase will actually occur in this arc, and then I will give the bounties themselves, okay? So let's begin. All right. One of the main reasons to look over necessary why another bounty increase could occur is because the Strides are on a government island. Keep in mind, they are on a government island, okay? This was actually confirmed to us by Bonnie herself, okay? But there's more, all right? Not only are the Strides on a government island, but this government island is actually the, basically the working home of Dr. Vegapunk himself, right? The greatest genius in the entire One Piece world, who knows more about Devil Fruits than anybody else, okay? Now, as we basically traverse the story and stuff like that, we find out that CP0, Rob Lucci, Kaku, and Stussy, but there is more to this, were sent to Egghead Island to eliminate Dr. Vegapunk and all the satellites, okay? Now, in the current events of the manga that has actually occurred so far, Stussy has basically betrayed Rob Lucci and Kaku because it turns out she's actually working with Dr. Vegapunk, right? She's actually an ally of him. But there's still more. Right now, in the last panel, in the last chapter of the manga, we find out that Kaku and Lucci have basically been captured and they have been chained in sea prison handcuffs. But as we find out through the story, the Seraphim have basically went rogue and is basically causing destructions, okay? And it also seems they attacked CP0. And it almost seems like, from what Oda is basically giving us, that CP0 will basically have to form an alliance with the Stride Pirates in order to save their skin, which might not look good, or might not. It might not look good in a very weird situation, but especially if the world government were to find out about this, they would most likely view that CP0 has basically betrayed them, and that it might all turn around and basically spin it to where Luffy was the mastermind, almost in a similar situation with the Whole Cake Island event, where Luffy might be the one to get most of the credit for it, or necessarily, and might be the center of the cause, okay? But, aside from CP0 being there, another situation that is occurring is the fact that Kizaru, along with the fleet of admiral ships, marine ships, are actually on their way to Egghead right now, okay? Along with one of the Gorosei, all right? For the first time, we actually learn one of the Gorosei's name. The name is to be Saturn, okay? But as we continue on and stuff like that, there is still more to go over, right? Now, a couple of chapters ago, we actually finally learned where Vivi has actually been. And she's actually been with Morgans the entire time. Morgans is basically the World Economics Journal main editor and stuff like that. He's basically the in charge, right? Now, from what this is basically telling us is that during the during those moments and like that with Morgans and BBE, Morgans actually found out that Luffy was actually on Egghead Island, all right. And to basically go over with this, Morgans was basically going to publish headlines stating that Luffy was going to take Vegapunk hostage or kidnap him. Now, to BB's she totally dismissed it as being ridiculous, saying that Luffy would never do that. Okay, but that's actually, but BB's situation is aside from the point. All right, it's the fact that you going over everything I just listed. There is enough reason to necessarily believe why the Sharks could not get an increase so fast. Okay, they're on a government island. All right, they have ran interference with CP0, and the entire fleet of government ships are actually on their way right now, along with one of the Goros and even one of the admirals. Okay, which might not look good, especially if the Sharks have to actually face off against this entire fleet. And if they win, or even if they manage to escape, it still doesn't look good. It still leaves enough evidence to basically support that there could have been another bounty increase, right? But keep in mind that doesn't necessarily mean 100% that another bounty increase is actually going to occur. I'm just basically saying that there is evidence to believe it and it could be possible. Okay, so that's basically what I'm saying. All right, so. But I need to basically continue on. All right, I know it's strange. A lot of people wonder, like, are we going to get another bounty increase so fast? I mean, we just had one after Wano. Like, do we really need them on FS? And with this being the final end of the saga, the final saga, it almost seems like there's a lot of things to go over necessarily, a lot of big reasons, and these reasons might be more potential to believe that yes, another bounty increase could occur, and you never know how these bounty increases are actually going to come into play. Right, so it's really hard to say, okay. And plus, I like to mention here is that in terms of like all the strats, in most cases it was always Luffy who got the bounty increases practically every single situation, okay. Not in every single arc or in every single saga, but in every practical situation, it was always Luffy who got the bounty increases, okay. The first time all the strats had basically got bounties, well, Luffy and Zoro had gotten theirs raised, and it wasn't to an easy lobby when everyone else joined them, okay. And then the second time would be in Dressrosa, and then for the third time would be in Wano, okay. Now, as we continue on, necessarily, it would be very potential if all the strides, again, basically get another bounty increase so fast, and not just Luffy himself, okay? And that's basically what I'm basically providing here. I know it's strange, I know it's crazy, but I feel like it could work, okay? So now that I laid down my reasons, and I laid down my specific situation why I believe another bounty could occur, and why it basically, I basically laid down my reasons, okay? Now, I will actually get into the bounty numbers themselves. So, if you actually enjoyed everything I presented, everything I stated on the reasons why another bounty increase could actually occur and why it is possible, feel free to leave a comment down below and tell me what you think of it, okay? I'd love to hear your thoughts, okay? Alright, so here are the bounty numbers I basically laid down, okay? So, let's begin. Alright, so first off, we'll start with Monkey D. Luffy, right? Monkey D. Luffy is the captain of the Striped Pirates. He's aiming to be the king of the pirates. He had just finally defeated Kaido, and he's on his way to becoming the One Piece, okay? Now, I have basically given Luffy a bounty of 3,600,000,000. 3,600,000,000, okay? So that will be Luffy's bounty, okay? Alright. Now moving on to Zoro. For Zoro, I could see a bounty of 1,503,000,000. Once again, that's 1,503,000,000 for Zoro. Now moving on to Nami. Nami will receive a bounty of 730,166,000. What? You don't think Nami deserves that high bounty? I don't know what you're talking about. You must be crazy. She deserves that high bounty. Oh, you don't believe me? She took down Big Mom. Oh, you still don't believe me? Well, here's a picture. Yeah, you see that? Big Mom is laying on her back right behind Nami. Yeah. Okay, I know. It's a joke. It's a joke, okay? Don't take things too serious, people, okay? Just a joke. Alright. Let's continue on, alright? So for our next Stride Pirate, we have Usopp. Usopp will receive a bounty of 1,035,000,000, okay? 1,035,000,000. Now, I know, I probably shouldn't say anything because I did say no spoilers in this moment, so let's just skip that. Let's just, I'm not even going to say anything, okay? I'm not even going to say anything. Now, Sanji will have a bounty of 1,349,000,000, and once again, 1,349,000,000 for Sanji, okay? For Chopper, the Doctor of the Strike crew, he will have a bounty of 5,510. So 5,510 for Chopper, okay? Which I know. Some people say that's way too short. Chopper deserves a higher bounty. Look, I'm sorry, okay, but I still feel like it's not the right time, and maybe it would be, right? Maybe it is the right time. But you know what? I'm just gonna stick to 5,510, okay? For Robin, 1,065,000,000. So 1,065,000,000 for Robin, okay? And yes, I know. No. A lot of people are going to probably be thinking like, nope, higher, gotta go higher. I agree. It should probably be higher, but I'm just gonna stick with 1,065,000,000. Okay, I'm sorry, but that's what I'm gonna do. For Frankie, 934 million. Yes, so 934 million for Frankie, and now for Brooke, Brooke, I will see at 838 million. And once again, that's 838 million for Brooke. And for the last straw, we have Jinbei. With Jinbei, I can see at 1,432,000,000. So once again, for Jinbei, it's 1,432,000,000. Okay, so I'll read over one more time. So Luffy, 3,600,000,000. Zoro, 1,503,000,000. Nami, 730,000,000, 166,000. Usopp, 1,035,000,000. Sanji, 1,349,000,000. Chopper, 5,510. Robin, 1,065,000,000. Frankie, 934,000,000. Brooke, 838,000,000. Jinbei, 1,432,000,000. Okay, so those are my bounty predictions, and those are the bounties that I'm going to have for the Strike Crew. So if you enjoy the bounty predictions I basically labeled, and if you think they're plausible and good enough bounties, let me know by leaving a comment down below. Also, what do you think the bounties could be after the Hate Island arc? I really like to know. All right, and if you enjoyed the video and enjoyed the content I provide, items like that, please let me know by smashing that like button. All right, and another way to let me know is by supporting the channel by subscribing to the channel and enjoying every other video I have to offer. Right, hit notification bell if you want to be up to date on any new videos I have out there. Right. So whatever else comes their way, all right? You know, and that's all I really have. Thank you very much for joining me. It's like that. So yeah. Also, before I actually end the video, there's something I want to go over. All right. Now, I want to go back to the Nami one, right? I want to go back to the Nami one, okay? So I'm actually going to be making another Nami video, another origin Nami video, okay? Now, a lot of people are probably going to be thinking this part is like another Nami video and stuff. Are you trying to break a world record? Well, no, but hey, if I end up breaking a world record, then someone let me know that I did, because I think I might forget, okay? No. What I want to go over with this is all right. What I want to go over this is this, okay? So a lot of people would probably notice that, with Nami, that I basically labeled her bounty as 730,000,000, 166,000. Okay. Now, a lot of people would probably know that the 73 would actually come from Nami. Okay. Now, what I'm doing here for the 166,000 is that, for every one of Nami's bounties, she's always had a 6 in it. Okay. So her first bounty was 16 million. Okay. And her second bounty was 66 million. And her third bounty right now is 366 million. Okay, so for every single one of Nami's bounties, she's always had a 6 in her bounty, right? No matter which one it is. Okay. Now, some people can offer the same situation with Brook. With Brook always having a 3 in his bounty, right? His first one was 33 million. Then it was 83 million, and then it was 383 million. Okay. But I still want to stick to the Nami situation, okay? What I'm basically stating here is that, for Nami, there have been two popular theories that, well, there are theories out there suggesting who Nami's father could be, okay? And these two candidates are actually Emu and Rox, right? So some people out there, and actually, like, I made my own theory suggesting that before Emu and Rox were actually confirmed in the story or actually revealed to us, I had basically a fan theory in mind, believing that Shiki could actually be the real father of Nami, okay? And look, I'm not, like, I've said this before, if Shiki doesn't turn out to be father of Nami, I'm perfectly okay with it, okay? Oda's telling a story, he's doing it the way he should be doing it, the way he wants it, okay? And I'm perfectly fine with that, okay? But if it does turn out right, I'm still going to be very much excited to know that I basically got something correct. But what I want to go over here with this very quickly is why I'm choosing to try and keep the 6 in there, okay? It's because I'm actually a big supporter of the whole idea that Nami could be related to Emu or Rock, or they could relate to both, all right? I'll try to do this more in a separate video, but I want to stick to this Nami situation right here real quick, okay? So, what I want to go over here with this is that, for Emu, if you were to basically translate the Gorosei numbers of Emu into Gorosei, necessarily, it would be Emu would be 16, all right? So, I would basically come from Ichi, and then 6 would come from Mutsu, all right? So, Emu would be 16, okay? But there's more to go with this, okay? Now, where exactly could Rox fit in this? Well, the Rox situation actually occurs with the number 6, okay? So, Rox's name in Japanese is spelled Rokutsu, okay? So, Rokkutsu, okay? Rokutsu, okay? Now, the Japanese word, the main translation of the Japanese number 6 is actually Roku, okay? So, Roku is actually the regular kanji, kanji base of the Japanese word for number 6, roku, okay? Roku, rokutsu, okay? But there's still more I want to add here, okay? Another way to translate the number 6 is shikutsu, okay? So shikutsu, okay? Now, where does shikutsu come from, all right? Shikutsu is actually all right, so if you were to take the English translation of 6, okay, S-I-X, okay, and translate that into the Japanese kind of spellings, it would be shikutsu, right? So shikutsu is actually the literal translation of the English translation, is a Japanese translation of the English translation of 6, spelled out, okay? And that's where it basically comes from, right? So you, in all this fairness and stuff like that, you think about it, you're just replacing the ro from shi, right? You're replacing shi with ro, okay? So rokutsu and shikutsu, okay? So it's, I know it's a bit hard and stuff like that, and it's crazy, but many people have actually sort of given reasons to believe that Nami could actually be related to Emu and Rocks, and truth be told, I believe it could be possible. Well, and you never know, like, there could be, like, Nami's background story is still weird, right? Like, Oda, like, the way Oda basically does these background stories for the Straw Hat Pirates or any character in One Piece, he basically leaves them in sort of like an unknown spot, all right? So he basically gives it in a potential way to where you don't need to basically explore the background, but at the same time, he leaves a good enough reason why a bigger situation could actually be involved, okay? And it's crazy. It really is. But I'll try to do another Nami video later. I'll basically give my own thoughts and ideas on why this could actually occur, and I'll give more. I'll really give a really big reason later. Okay, so I just want to get that small tidbit of information on Nami and see how it comes. So hey, thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. So once again, to repeat, if you enjoyed the video and like anything I say, please leave a comment down below, smash the like button, and subscribe to the channel. All right, thank you so much. Bye.